Welcome back, everybody, to the Fighting for Freedom podcast.
Fighting for freedom, one podcast at a time.
We're just gonna send it.
What up? Good morning,
What's
good
going
evening,
on,
good
man?
afternoon. What's up, bro? Good afternoon and welcome to another episode on the Fighting for Freedom podcast. Today I am joined by somebody who was in the active duty side of the United States Army. Then he was in the National Guard, and now he's in the Air Force Guard. I don't know. Nick, what up, bro? How you doing today?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man.
Nail on the head. So active Army, first for about 3.5 years. Spent my time at 4th ID. I was at 1A Infantry, deployed to Iraq, Syria, was in Turkey for a little while when all that invasion happened. And we were in Turkey for a little bit, obviously, and then made our way back. And then I got back to station, back to garrison, did a little funeral honors, and I was like, all right, man, well, I did my 3.5 years, and I'm going to get out. And then I had, like I previously said before, I had a good platoon leader at the time, Lieutenant Davis. Now he's a captain. He told me all about the Active Guard Reserve. He was there for 16 years, and he commissioned as an officer. And that's when he was my platoon leader. And he pretty much recruited me to stay in and go Active Guard Reserve, which is what I became for the Army National Guard, a recruiter. Good gig. Didn't mind it too much. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people that like go recruiting. They're like, it's like the stigma of everyone's like, oh, you're a recruiter. You got to keep up with all these numbers, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like you can pick to go back to like your hometown. You know what I mean? Like, or you can get a Gucci set of orders and actually like be somewhere and not have to like go on a deployment or go somewhere TDY for like a long period of time for like training or whatever. Yeah. And your uniforms are always crisp. Do you get like a uniform allowance like when you're a recruiter or no?
Yeah, no. So with the AGR, Active Guard Reserve, you get the same allowances you do on in any active component, quote unquote. Like it's a misconception. Like half the base I'm at now, I'd say, no, probably more than half are active. Like our mission is like an active mission. We go to Antarctica to in support of the National Science Foundation over in Antarctica and also Greenland, and we go to Alaska and places like that. But like it's like an active mission, man. Like there has to be full-time people on base. So we do get the same exact stuff as you would get active Navy, active Army, active Air Force, so on and so forth. It's a component of the Air Force.
Yeah, there's like so many different, you kind of said it better, right? You've been to so many different places and you're in the reserves now. You know what I mean? Like people think like, oh, you have to go active if you want to go travel and go to all these places. Nah, bro, like that's not how that works. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. When you're in the reserves, like, yeah, you do like your 1 week in a month or whatever. But there's always opportunities where they're like, hey, raise your hand if you want to go to Poland for 2 weeks. And you're like, okay, sounds great, you know?
Yep. No. So of course, so it's a reserve component. Just so no one gets confused, but there is reserve Air Force, there is reserve Army. The National Guard is totally separate. It's literally different state incentives, state benefits, different missions. I know that the Army Reserve does not have any combat MOSs, for example, and the Army National Guard does. So they are separate. Okay. The components really do matter, and they're all very relatively separate. But yeah, so people don't know this, but you're technically active if you are AGR. Like any kind of active orders, you are active. You get the full benefits, you get the full pay. I actually get more pay as a recruiter. You get like extra duty pay because as a recruiter, you work. Who the hell knows? Like I could work from sun up to sundown, man. And as far as like the numbers go, I mean, it's not like. I mean, at least most components, you don't get paid extra money for enlisting folks, like, bonuses and all that. It's a mission, man. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's one of the most important jobs, I believe, in the military because at the end of the day, end strength is all that matters. And ask any general, like he's huge on all around end strength because the Pentagon is like we need to have a strong military. And how do you get a strong military? You need to have individuals recruiting people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have like those individuals going out there and building the force. So that's why I was so attracted to recruiting when I was talking to Lieutenant Davis at the time. He's the captain now, like I said, but it just sounded like a job for me. Like I'm pretty good at talking to individuals. I had a background in sales. I was in fitness for like 8 years. I was 26 when I joined, but it just sounded like it was a really important job. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And the first, 2.5 years, I did pretty well. I ended up making mission. We call it mission. First, not quota, mission first in the state of New York for the Army National Guard. And yeah, man, it's a really important job. And all there really is a lot of negative stigma behind it. Like I volunteered for it, bro. Like I know how it is when you're on active and regular branches, like a regular Army, regular Navy, whatever. You get foretold and like, it's all this, I don't want to do this and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it really is not a bad spot to be as long as you're willing to work your ass off. I mean, if you're lazy and you're we call them a shipboard specialist or whatever. You're not gonna do well. You're gonna hate your life. But it really is what you make of it.
Yeah, you see people who go from like right now I'm currently active duty, right? And I'll be at like a battalion, let's just say like with a bunch of people. And then, I'll transfer, like I transfer duty stations and they ended up transferring duty stations. And like, they went to go be a recruiter and their profile on like their Facebook profile picture or their Instagram changes from like them like shooting like a 240 to them like in their dress uniform all propped up. And I'm like, I get it, bro. Like you were never that type of person. But at the end of the day, it's not about your 9 to 5, right? People don't just walk into a recruiter's office. I mean, yeah, they do, right? They walk into a recruiter's office.
Some states they do.
Yeah, but a lot of the time it's like being a car salesman. Someone comes in, they look around, they're like, all right, maybe the military, it's cool, but I'll sleep on it. But if you're not calling this person constantly, if you're not talking, like letting them know, answering questions that they might have, and they don't even know that they might have. Like, what are you really doing? You know what I mean? You're just a storefront at that point.
Yeah, no, of course. Absolutely, man. Like, when it comes to, like, certain states and when it comes to certain branches, components, I mean, I was on the Army Guard side, and I had to really put in some work. Fortunately enough, I think they turned it around a little bit here when it comes to, like, the image of the Army National Guard. But on the Air National Guard side, it's just different, man. Like, we get phone calls, and people call us. We're on a base, so they can't just walk in. It's not a storefront, but people are joining, man. Trust me. Like people are like out there, like people are joining nowadays. That's a fallacy, man. People are definitely joining. They're just, I don't know, maybe they're distracted somehow. But at the end of the day, people are enlisting. People are joining, and I think it's really. What branch you in, by the way? I'm sorry, I didn't ask that.
I'm in the Navy right now.
Okay, you're in the Navy. Too easy. People are enlisting, bro. Like, and it's really up to people like you and I, even though like you're not a recruiter, it's up to us to like make sure that it's known, like, bang, 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 we're here. And like, we have all these things. Like you and I both know, like there is a lot of stuff that goes into being in the military. I'm on my second house, bro. Like I got a brand new car outside. Like I'm doing a lot of things that I wouldn't be doing if I wasn't in the military. And people just have these misconceptions that it's like your last resort. Bro, this is my first option. If I knew about this when I was young, this would have been my first option.
Yeah, you tell people, like, they ask you questions about it, like should I join? I'm like, dude, like there's so many, like it's like Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin first came out, I should have put all my money in there, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. And when people ask me about the military, it's like the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, man, if you're okay with leaving home, then yes, 100%. Because you leave home, you get to travel the world, you get to do cool things, and you get paid while you're doing it. Like, they'll always make sure you have a roof over your head and food on the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's different alternatives.
Yeah. It's just, it really is a organization organizations, any one of them, man, they're all very similar. It's different missions.
Facts,
Any
yep.
one of those organizations will set you up for a nice blue collar, white collar life. I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you want to live that normal American dream, bro, like, look no further. This is where it's at. If you want anything
Yeah.
past that, you can still do that. Plus this, like, you could chase whatever weird goals you have in life, any fantasies. You can do that, but just this would be your primary, right? People think like, oh, I'm gonna get rich doing X, Y, and Z, and they spend all their time. They spend years and years just chasing this dream, which that's no big deal. Like, you're chasing your dream. I applaud that, But at the end of the day, you could do that while you are in a organization or organizations like we're in. Like, I'm still doing stuff that has nothing to do with the military. Like, I have a woodworking business. I like to make stuff out of wood, like flags, charcuterie boards, whatever, man. I'll make whatever. It's a fun hobby. I like carpentry, and I also do fitness on the side. Those are like my hobbies, my side things. But like, this is like a good primary job to have. We all know about residual income. Like, having this as a base, your house is like unlimited, bro. But having nothing like this as a base and chasing those hobbies I just discussed by themselves, it's just a gamble, man. And like, I don't gamble my money. I like to make sure that everything that I'm trying to achieve, I'm not taking crazy chances. They're all calculated. They're more precise in thought, as opposed to like just pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that unless I'm
Nah,
outside my house, because it's
I got you.
it's part of freedom. You go outside on your deck. There's no one around. It's your property. Blah 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 blah. But this is more of an analogy. I don't like pissing in the wind.
Yeah. Well, now you say stand on your deck, and you said that you're in New York. You must not be in New York City.
I'm not in New York City.
Oh, okay.
Hell,
Are you like you're
no.
upstate?
Upstate New York, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And is that like where you were born and raised, or did the
Yeah, so I was
military
born
just drag
upstate New
you there?
York, a little outside of the capital. I'm a
Okay.
country boy, man. I'm from literally where the nearest store is probably not a bike ride, because I tried that before. But like, you
Yeah, so
literally,
much for the whole fitness journey, right?
yeah, right. No, man, it's a nice area though. It's called April Park. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's across the street from my parents' house is a waterfall. Like, it's not what people
That's
expect to
sick.
see when they hear New York. Let's just put it that way.
Yep. Well, I'm from New York, but I'm from like I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island, so it's like city, subway, train, walk,
Yeah.
run. But you're from New York as well, which is like the beautiful part, like the mountains. You know what I mean? Like
This
you get
is
to
where
like kind of
this is
have.
where y'all go to like vacation, or like go four-wheeling, or go fishing, or do
Yeah.
all those things that you can't do in the city. I've been there before. I've been there plenty of times. Don't get me wrong.
I think most north I've been is like Lake George, and everything you just said is what I did in Lake George.
Oh, Lake George is one of our like hidden gems, dog. Oh my
Yeah,
god. Right
I
by.
know.
Did you go to the track in Saratoga?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that's where I'm from. Like, we have that. Like,
Okay, gotcha.
nothing wrong
Yeah,
with
that's
the
what I'm
city,
saying.
but
Well, I mean, I also don't want to let people know about Lake George. You know what I mean? Keep that on the down low. We got one arcade. We got one ice cream shop.
yeah.
We also have a Six Flags over there though, so that's kind of sick.
I have not gone to Six Flags yet, but actually, right out in Lake George, there is a Great Escape / Six Flags that
Yeah.
is
That's
close to the
awesome.
lake. Yep, I can actually hear the accent now that I'm listening to you.
Yeah, well, it'll start picking up more and more and more and more. But
Yeah, I hear it. Forget about that.
Yeah. All right, Nick, I'm curious, man. You seem like a very straight up, very honest guy, right? Now, without like getting like into the DoD, right? Because that's not what we're here for. We're here for just our opinions and to give people kind of some insight onto like what goes on in our lives. What do you think would help recruiting right now?
I think what would help recruiting is what I try to kind of do is like humanize us. Like, people assume that. Well, no, they have assumptions. I think addressing the facts and the fallacies and kind of having fun with the whole stereotypes is kind of like a big thing that I like to do, because it allows people to actually like look inwards, as opposed to like using what they've been fed over the years. Like, people think of the Army as in like Black Hawk Down. That's what I thought when I first joined. People always assume like the worst, and they always look at the crazy cool / action filled parts of every branch. So for the Navy, they're going to think automatically Tom Cruise, right? They're going to think you're going to be in some plane going crazy and going on some suicide mission and all that stuff. And when they go to the Army, they're going to think Rangers or Special Forces. When you go to the Marines, they're going to think of Gunny Sergeant. I forgot his name. He was in Full Metal Jacket. You're going to think about him automatically. A guy like that's going to yell at me. Well, yeah, I mean, basic for almost every branch, I'm assuming, is like it's not easy. Like someone's yelling at you, you're out of your comfort zone, and it's not a good time. But it also does build character, and it kind of allows you to become a woman or a man and like grow as a person. I think the biggest thing that I have found that kind of works is just humanizing ourselves, because they think of that gunny sergeant, they think of that crazy pilot Tom Cruise and going on these crazy missions. So I think about Black Hawk Down, where everyone in the Army is in the infantry or they're Rangers or they're SF, and that's not true, man. Like there are jobs in the Army, Army National Guard, Air National Guard. I'm assuming Navy as well. Every branch that can translate over to the civilian side, and it also just goes on your resume. And like, if you don't stay in, the biggest thing for me, man, is like you have options. You have so many options once you're in boots. Like there are not a lot of options in life on the civilian side. I don't want to crap on the civilian side of things, but I know for a fact that I never feel like I'm like there's a ceiling, right? People feel like there's a ceiling over them. That's why they have that stress, they have that anxiety, depression, because they feel like they're just limited so much, especially on the civilian side. In the military, for me, man, it just opens up like Pandora's box. You can just do so much with it. If you stay in, you can go from regular Navy to a reserve component or a guard component. Do you guys have guard components?
No, I don't think so.
Whatever. You know what? I'll be your recruiter. You come to the Air National Guard. We'll get you a full-time. I'll get you a full-time job on base at your home of record. There's just so many options, man. And at the end of the day, people, if you wanted to get out and going back on the civilian side, they take military service members almost everybody. And if you get your degree with the military service, with all the things you get when it comes to us, you can get your EMT if you go to be a med tech for the Air National Guard for the Air Force. You get way more than that. You know what I mean? Like you just get so much. And no offense, 2 days a month, 2 weeks in the summer, you just give so little. And for like the active components, I gave 3.5 years of my life, and guess what I got? I got my GI Bill, I got my VA home loan, I got all those things that I can either give to my kid whenever I have one, or I can use it myself and then get all the way up to, like, let's say, a master's degree. And I can even use my state tuition assistance while I'm in the Guard, and then also use that at the end if I want to go even further with my education. And like, I have the option, man. Like, right? Like, who says I don't feel like doing it right now? I can do it later, and I have that option. You know what I'm saying? Like most people are just like, I got to get it when I can get it. I'm always gonna have it. You know what I mean? Like I just have so many options that if I didn't join, I would have limited options, man. And people nowadays, they don't like being limited. Who likes being limited? And I think for being in service, you are not limited. You're only limited like when you're, let's say, overseas or you're currently under contract, active duty wise, but your contract will end. Yeah. And if you don't like what you're doing, change it up.
Yeah, you can always put in a request to. We have a lot of people all the time, or even certain rates is like jobs. We call them rates. A lot of rates will be like undermanned or like hurting, and like they'll be like, hey, you want to come you want to be a career counselor? You want to be a recruiter? We'll pay you X amount of money to change your job, and this is what you can do for the rest of your military career.
Yeah, you just cross train.
And we'll give you rank. And they're like, oh yeah, like I had a guy who was a E5. He just made E5, and they were like, you want to be a career counselor? We'll give you $30,000, and we'll give you E6. He was like, yeah, no problem.
Where else does that happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like someone say, hey, I'll give you $30,000 and an extra $600 a month pay raise. Like what? Like how does that even correlate? Literally, just helps you. It helps you push you to that 20, a lot sooner. You know what I mean? Like a lot easier, I guess you could say.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and you and I both know, like the benefits. The list is too long. I'm a recruiter. I don't even know all the benefits, man. There's just so and like what kind of a job, a career field can you be in where you're just like, I really don't know all my benefits. There's just so many I can't keep track. There isn't. There's so
Yeah.
many for us. We don't even know all. I don't know all of them. I've been recruiting for 3.5 years, almost 4. I don't
Yeah.
know all the benefits. All I know are the ones that are pertinent to the people I'm trying to, spread the word to. Hashtag recruit or quote
Yeah.
recruit. Like for me, recruiting is not what people say recruiting is. Like I'm a liaison, man. Like I'm here to help you along the process. If you choose this is something you want to try to get into, because not everyone is going to be eligible. At the end of the day, you may not be eligible. Like
Yeah,
if
that's true.
someone says, I would never do that. Okay, let's see if you're even eligible, because it's actually difficult to get into the military, and people assume that it's easy. It's like a thing, a last resort, and all these other crazy just fallacies. And at the end of the day, man, like I've turned away more people than I've enlisted. I had to, because they were disqualified. Like you have to qualify for this.
Yeah, you got to pass
People
the
don't know
test.
that.
Yeah, it's like you got your GED. Cool. Can you pass this test? No. Okay. Well, we'll keep trying. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
or maybe you got into some shit when you were younger, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that can go into why someone can't qualify,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 times someone comes in like they are able to qualify. No.
I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say out of 10 to 15 people, 1 or 2 will be qualified. That's
Yeah.
that's that's actually those are actually really uh what's the word? I can't think of the word. Whatever. That's probably false. It's probably more like 20, 1 to 20.
Hmm.
Because yeah, man, like the qualifications, and they've changed over the last 20 years. It's a little harder. And I know for us, for the Air National Guard, you have to score at least a 50 if you have your GED on the ASVAB.
What if you have your diploma?
So your
Is it different?
diploma, you got to score a 31 to
Okay.
qualify for military service in general, any branch. But
Gotcha. Yep.
for my base, we don't have any jobs that you know a 31 will qualify for. You got to have higher for most of the jobs we have left, because we have a
Yeah,
percentage.
yeah.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to work with you then, or I'd have to retake my ASVAB. I got
Yeah,
like a third. I think I got like a 38 on mine, and I think 35 for us was like passing to like qualify for like what I do now, like
yeah, yep.
like I wanted to join the Navy, but I didn't want to go on a ship. I know it sounds dumb, but there's always ways around things. You know what I mean? Like people have this stigma, like you say, Navy. Oh, you're gonna be like Goose. You're gonna be like Top Gun, or you're gonna be on a boat. No,
Uh,
that's not the case. You know what I mean? Like just because they hand you a pamphlet doesn't mean there's only 6 pages to the Navy. There's a whole encyclopedia. There's a whole book about it.
and that's
Don't
my
take.
point, man. Like people don't
Yep.
know these things. People assume Goose, or they assume Gunny Sergeant, or they assume Black Hawk Down. Like people have no idea what the
Yeah.
military is. That's why they're
Hmm.
like quick to say, "Oh no, I would never do that." You don't even know what you're turning down. You're turning down, in
Hmm.
my opinion. This is bias. I'm still in, so whatever. Like that's what I say to these kids, or these men and women, because I enlist people that are in their 30s, their 20s. Like it's not a sale when I'm just explaining to you what my component offers and what you
Hmm.
get if you qualify. Right?
Hmm.
I'm not trying to be a car salesman, because at the end of the day, I'm selling you what I do. Like if
Yeah.
I didn't believe in it, if I didn't um if I didn't appreciate it, or whatever have you, I wouldn't be a recruiter. Like I don't know, I'd either be out, or I'd be shamming out somewhere in the military. Like I believe in this stuff. Like I do appreciate it, and I believe what I'm saying to you. Like all I'm doing for you, is making sure you know exactly what we are, what we do, and what you get if you qualify.
Yeah.
Like all these things, they sound great. Like what's the catch? The catch is you might not qualify for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like like no harm, no foul. But I kind of like that though, Nick. I kind of like that, like dangle the treat in front of the dog. You know what I mean? Like make them want it. I mean, obviously, we have no control and we can't say who can and who cannot join. But it's nice to have people who are joining like hungry for their future, hungry for you know wanted to be in the military, hungry for like, just I don't know. I'm getting all amped up right now. I'm getting all American. I'm getting all American flagged out right
Well,
now.
dude,
It's just,
once they're well informed, if their recruiter is decent, if
yeah,
they're well informed and you explain to them like kind of how things go, not not just like the atmosphere or the environment or how basic's gonna go. You go through basic and you get through it. It's done. It's a game. That's what I say. It's a giant game. Play the game. Come back. But if you explain to these people like what you will get from these organizations,
mm-hmm.
I'd say 7 out of 10 times they're just like, where do I sign? If you
Yeah,
are, if you're good at explaining it and you actually do, if they're well informed, then you're good. If you're just like, yeah, you're going to do push-ups, you're going to do sit-ups, and you can get your college degree, and then what's up? You want to do? That's ridiculous. Make
yeah,
sure they're well informed.
yeah. No, 100%. Curiosity though, just out of curiosity. So, right, obviously the big thing, active duty and let's just say reserves, right? National Guard and National Guard, whichever way you decide or you're thinking about going.
Yeah.
Besides the main difference of being active and being the reserves and kind of like the pay and obviously the schedule, right? Is there any difference between those in what you get out benefit wise, like your VA loan or your college or anything like that, or is it exactly the same?
No, so they do get it. They just get it unless they get put on some sort of active orders. Active orders, they'll get all those things within like 180 days, or if not 90 days if it's a certain title. I don't want to say which one because I'm not sure. I don't want to sound like an idiot. But if they're on active orders for let's say 90 to 100 days, they'll get all the normal benefits. If they're just DSG, drill status, they'll get it within 6 years because the 2 days a month, 2 weeks in the summer, it all adds up to about the
Gotcha.
equivalent. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
but the one thing they do get that you don't get, you might get federal tuition assistance, but they get state tuition assistance. So any state school in my state and most National Guard, Air Guard states still do the same thing, but you'll get 100% tuition assistance for any state school,
Wow.
all paid
Okay.
for. And then
Yeah,
at the 6 year mark, when you get your GI Bill, you can add more education with that.
that's the big thing is everyone joins for school, right? I mean, like not everyone comes from like a wealthy family, right?
Yeah.
So people have the idea of like I'm going to join the military, I'm going to serve my country, but I'm also going to get my schooling out of it. And I think
Yeah.
that's like one of the biggest things for people. Because if they decide to go in active duty and school, by the time they finish their first, for us it's 5-year term, and if they start at college right away, they have their bachelor's degree coming out of the military after 5 years. It's like what other job could you walk into with as much confidence and as big as balls as you would have with 5-year military background and your bachelor's being like, here's my deal, here's my resume, I want to work here. It's like, holy shit, all right, this is,
That's
you know what
that's
I mean? Like,
it's literally what I tell people. I'm like you will be a double-edged sword. Like you will
yeah,
have a competitive edge when you go to any interview because not only will you have a college degree, not only will you have job experience, which is huge nowadays. If you have job experience plus a degree that, let's say Susan or Jeffrey already, the person interviewing with you, they have a college degree, right? Cool. Same thing as you. They have no job experience. They do
mm,
not have military background, which is going to come with, possible leadership skills, the ability to take orders and to, um, not give pushback, so on and so forth. Just to be a good soldier or sailor or airman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or Marine. Like they want that type of employee. So you got that plus the degree plus the actual experience. Like you're not only people would always used to say like you're either going to be a trade, college or military. Bro,
yeah.
you can have all three of those
Facts.
if you just join a branch.
Yeah.
You can have all three of those. Like people have been getting fed from a plastic ugly spoon their entire lives, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
truth of it is, those things they said, college, trade, or the military.
Yeah.
No, I
All
want
day
all
long.
three of them. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get them in the military. Nice
Facts.
drive out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Thank you very much.
I love it. Only on the Fighting
We
for Freedom
figured it out,
podcast,
buddy.
baby. Yeah.
We figured it out.
And I didn't have to read any textbooks. Yeah.
No.
That's crazy, dude. Dude, there's so many advantages, right? Of being in the military, and so many opportunities and things to take advantage of. Nick, what advice would you give to somebody who just came out of boot camp and is going to their first duty station? What do you think they should take most advantage of?
I think it would depend on the branch.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
If we're going to the Army, I would say read everything there is to know about your job, because you will be tested and someone will, call you out and make sure that you're knowledgeable, which really isn't a bad thing. Like, you should be knowledgeable. However, they penalize you for not having the knowledge. I know my experience. If someone asked you the area, the point range for, like, let's say an M4, and you didn't know it, all right, start pushing. Or, there's a beautiful stone over there. I want you to run and grab it and bring it back. Like stupid stuff like that. But I would say just ensure that you know your shit. Know your Tom Brady. Do your job.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah. That's crazy. A New Yorker just gave Tom Brady a shout out. Oh.
I'm a Tom Brady fan, but I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
You low-key look like a Tom Brady guy.
Oh my God!
Like, if I see you with a jersey and like a hat on. That's crazy. You have to be a Buffalo Bills fan. You're from up north.
Buffalo's 5 hours from here, man. My father's always been a Bills fan. He saw O.J. Simpson play. He's seen everyone great play. Kelly, Jackson, everybody, man. Like the Fridge. The Fridge was on the Giants. Sorry, I think he did see him play too, though. But whatever. He's a huge Bills fan, so that makes me a Bills fan.
Yeah, no, that's all right. You're allowed to. Well, I'm not a football fan for New York in general.
You can't
so
say you're a real New Yorker if you're a Jets fan, because even Giants, they practice in Jersey.
I'm not a Jets or a Giants fan.
Okay, they're Jersey.
And yeah. I don't care for any of those teams. I'm actually a Minnesota Vikings fan. But
are you a Mets fan?
No, I'm a Yankees fan. And then I'm a New Jersey Devils fan. I love the Devils. I hate the Rangers. My whole family's Ranger fans. I just wanted to be different. I guess that's why I joined the military, and they all went to be cops. You know what I mean?
The black sheep.
Yeah, I was like, you could be the military in New York. I'm gonna go and be the military everywhere else. All right.
So they're all NYPD.
Yeah, for the most part. My
Do you know
mother,
how many
my
NYPD are guardsmen? All right.
Yeah, I believe it a lot. Yeah, I actually.
So that's another thing people don't know. When you are in the Guard, you can literally collect at whatever age is going to be 2 pensions. People that are in the Guard that have to go to their 2 days a month and 2 weeks in the summer, let's say NYPD, they'll be on NYPD active, whatever they call it, active orders, and then they'll also be in the Guard. And then at 60 or 62 now, they'll collect a retirement from the Guard. And also when they get the retirement from NYPD, that's 2 pensions, right? Before I go even further, if they got on some sort of active orders, let's say they got active orders to be a recruiter and they're NYPD, their seniority does not stop. Mm-hmm. They'll go to, let's say, be a recruiter for 3-6 years, whatever have you. They probably have to do some like shifts once in a while, maybe, I don't know. But point is, they literally will collect their seniority over there and also be collecting an AGR check and active duty retirement towards active duty retirement. There's just so many things that go into it. It's actually kind of insane. Before I came back, I was in active duty. Regular Army, I should say, not active duty, because AGR is active. But I had no idea about any of these things. All I knew was that I was to report to PT, and then I had to go into the field. And we had Bradleys, so we'd go on Bradleys and all that good stuff, and be in there for hours, not to butt next to somebody else, full kit. And then I knew when I was on deployment, I had to go do whatever tasks we had to do. And then we got back, I had to do funeral honors. I didn't look around once to be like, what kind of benefits do we have? Like, what can I do outside of here? I had no idea you could do 2 pensions and all this other crazy stuff. People are playing Monopoly because the VA home loan is just so generous for us. And like, it's just insane how much we have. If you have one of these, if you have a brain cell and you actually take the time to look, especially if you're in boots. If you're in boots, you're not taking advantage of your benefits. You're wrong, right? So if you look around and you see how much you actually have, I still haven't done it, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I've taken advantage of the VA home loan, and that's pretty much it. Like, I haven't gone back to school, but I at least did the VA home loan. Some folks don't do anything, man.
Yeah, some people just
serve
get out.
that's it.
Yeah, they just go get a job and they're like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm content and I'm just gonna rent an apartment. Which, if you're listening and that's what you did, no shame to you. I'm not trying to be a dickhead. But
well, here's your wake up call.
Yeah. Facts, man. Like, it's literally free. Like, you signed up, like, you did your time. Like, use everything that they give you to your advantage.
Yeah, and you fucking earned it, man. And also with the VA, like the VA disability, if you have issues, if you fucking were hurt over the years, especially these Army cats and maybe Marines too, they're probably in the same ball game. Like, you almost feel like weird or like a shitbag if you go get looked at or you seek help, especially when it comes to mental health, man. Like, if you got fucking problems, dude, go get checked out, go push your claim in, and if you really have problems, collect your fucking disability.
Facts.
That's what it's there for. It's for you. And if you don't do that because you think that your gunny sergeant or your squad leader is gonna think less of you, who fucking cares?
Yeah, bro. All of my chain of command and all of your chain of command that we had when we first got in, what are they doing? Couldn't fucking tell you. I'll never see them ever again. You have these people as your boss. You try to impress them. You try to make them look good. You try to be strong. Let them know you're not a bitch. Yeah. At the end of the day, bro, you're never going to see these fucking people again. But your medical documents that go back to that day, you're never going to see those either if you never went up and said something. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you won't.
If you need help, ask for it, bro. Like, no one's going to think less of you. You know what I mean? Plus, who wants a broken guy in the field? You know what I mean? No one wants a broken guy in the field.
And if you do have problems, like, just go get seen at least. Like, go get seen, get it checked out, get it looked at, because at the end of the day, like, it's your fucking life. Like, you can feel some sort of way about how another man or woman is going to feel about you, about taking care of yourself. But that's what it comes down to. It comes down to taking care of yourself as a soldier, an airman, a sailor, whatever. A Marine. Sorry, I cut that off. I shouldn't disrespect the Marines. Even though some of my videos, But also, by the way, my videos are all fun and it's no disrespect, but it's comedy. It's subjective. And I'm gonna make funny videos, making fun of whoever. I'll make fun of myself if people will laugh. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's all about camaraderie. Like, you ever go to a comedy show and like they don't make fun of themselves? Like, it's not a thing. They always do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. They always compare and contrast themselves to other people or other things going on. Which is
I thought of you so much that I wanted to talk about you and bust your balls. That's a compliment. You're from New York just like I am. It's a fucking compliment when you bust someone's balls. It's when you don't talk to them. It's when you don't like them. When I'm talking about you, and it's not like anything like crazy, like I want to beat you up. Like, if I'm busting your balls, it means I fucking like you.
And it's like, damn, my name was in your head. That's crazy. I should start paying fucking rent. You know what I mean? It's wild, dude.
Rent's due, motherfucker. Where is it?
Yeah, it's so fun. And what is even fun? Yeah. So you kind of touched on it a little bit. I'm kind of gonna hop into it, man, because that's honestly how we met, through social media. I kind of met you, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and now you jumped up to like over 20,000 followers on social media platforms. How the hell? Yeah, 20. Yeah. Well, I don't know about all the rest of them. You know what I mean?
I got a few more. I do.
You do? Okay. So, what made you start this whole social media, kind of ordeal?
So I've always had social media. Before I joined, I had it for sure because I was a trainer. It was fitness. So you kind of have to. You sell yourself as a trainer. Yeah. Like you're your own advertisement. But I've always done social media, but it branched from fitness. I love it, man. It's fun. The whole TikTok thing. I never really was on it, and I never really looked into it too much. And then one day I would just open up an account or whatever, made a profile, and then started to have fun making videos, and people liked it, so kept making them, and then here we are.
Yeah. Has it helped you like with your job, like with recruiting?
No, so I'm not really on TikTok to recruit. It's actually
Okay.
not really supposed to, Air Force
Okay.
wise. But my thing is like I tell people all the time. Like I had a major who shared one of my videos on Instagram. I got like 21,000 followers on Instagram. It's not as big as TikTok, but still gets pretty good. The insights are pretty good on Instagram. But I had a major share a video. He did like a duet.
Okay.
He added his own at the end. It was kind of funny. He's like, "I should have joined the Air Force. Why did you tell me about it?" And then he put in his as a caption, if you want a boring job, go to the Air Force. If you want a job, but you're gonna be treated like shit, go to the Army or something like that. It was funny. So I messaged the guy and I was like, "Hey, I appreciate you sharing the video." I told my background briefly, Army Guard, and then I asked if you ever wanted to collaborate, anything like that. Because like at the end of the day, man, like one team, one fight. It's so corny, and I always thought it was corny when I was active Army, because I was pissed off half the time because we were doing dumb shit. But it's true, man. Like one team, one fight. Like I include Marines in my video. That's giving Marines more views, or people thinking about the Marines, or thinking about the Air Force, thinking about the Army. It's getting people thinking about the branches. That's all it really is, right?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
trying to get
Definitely.
people to think about the military as a whole, whether it's that I'm playing the Air Force guys, shitting on the Army, whatever's going on. Like I have respect for every single branch. I was in the Army. I was in the Army Guard, right? I didn't leave. Well, I left, but I ETS'd or I transferred over. Like I didn't get like a terrible discharge. Like I did my duty to the best of my abilities, and I did it all honorably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing negative ever happened. I didn't have any bad harsh feelings. Like everything was good. I don't regret Army or Army Guard, and now I'm in the air, right? So all my videos are just busting balls, and like I said, all I'm trying to do is have fun and have people pretty much open their eyes and realize like the military is extremely important, whether it's through my humorous videos where I'm using the stereotypes and I'm busting balls with the whole sorry sergeant thing, or the friggin' kitchen that, by the way, that kitchen, it's like a little Connex. It's like a transformer, bro. It starts as like a little Connex, a little box, and then it opens up. That
Yeah,
thing is actually legit.
we have one of those too.
Okay.
Because whenever we go to the field, like normally we'll go to the field for like training exercises for like anywhere from like 3 to like a month and a week, and we have MREs for the first like 2 weeks until we get
Yeah.
that actually all set up. Yeah, and all it is like a was it like a 10x10 or an 8x8 Connex box, and
That's
you open these doors and it turns into this fucking ginormous thing. You're like, what the hell? But then they still take eggs and powder and pour water in it, and they like, this is breakfast. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. But
I don't
it's
know,
better
man.
than
All
MREs,
my
dude.
years in the Army, like in the field, like yeah, hot chow wasn't always guaranteed. And when I was in
Yeah.
Iraq, man, like we had like this giant pyramid of MREs at the observation posts that we had outside of the fob and at the checkpoints. Yeah, we were backed up. Let's just put it
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. The
My
porta
first time
potties.
seeing one, so I had to make a video about it, man. Like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah, yeah. You're like, holy shit, this is like real. But you
Yeah,
didn't have that. You didn't have that in the Army. You have it in the Air Force.
yeah. I didn't know how. I never saw one. I mean, I was at Fourth ID. It's a pretty big base, and like they have, you know, everything you need, everything most bases have, and I've never seen one of those in my life. Like, no, man. And like it doesn't need a buffalo. It's for the water. It doesn't need anything like that. It's like
Okay.
self-sufficient, and
Really?
it's high speed, bro. So if you post this part of it, that kitchen's legit. You see these people? That kitchen is legit.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Well,
were in a parking lot. You're right.
yes.
But guess what? Guess where they go? They go to friggin' Antarctica and Greenland. You know how fucking cold it is in Antarctica? All right? Their field events are in colder places than any other branch goes to for the most part. It's fucking freezing. Freezing.
Yeah, bro. I'm not about that life. I actually have a buddy who, to kind of hit on what we hit before. I've been doing a podcast with him. I think we're going on a third episode. He's gonna be all of September. I'm just because, you'll see if you keep following through with it. But he was a NYPD cop, Philadelphia cop. Now he's special forces, security forces in the Air National Guard. So he's literally doing that. He's getting pensions, and he's working still in the Air National Guard. He's just literally doing everything. And he just went to Antarctica and did like a training over there. I'm like, dude, this guy's doing what I wish I could do or what I should have done, but I'm active duty, so I can't do any of that shit yet.
Well, no, you can, man. I mean, I'm not saying get out of the Navy, but you always you always have that option, brother. Like, I was in the active Army, and like I thought I really didn't have many options, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't even know about the HER program. Like my knowledge was like a fucking peanut, and now it's like a goddamn grapefruit. I just didn't know. They don't teach you this shit. Like, you get like your they call SFL TAP, your Soldiers for Life transition program or whatever, assistance program, and they'll have other branches come in. They'll have Border Patrol come in, and they'll talk to us and tell us about them. But like, it's like a quick brief, and it's one day. It's not like we're getting like real knowledge on it. Like, the knowledge I have now, I developed being in the Guard, obviously, but I had no idea. Like, and the fact of the matter is, like, you can do other components, other branches. Look at me, brother. I'm living proof. Like, I was Army regular, Army Guard, and now I'm Air Guard. Like, and I've only been a recruiter for both the Air Guard and the Army Guard.
That's facts, dude. That's literally why I'm doing this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, one, to like kind of help me learn and gain all this information. So if anybody asks me a question, I can be like, got the answer, no problem. You know what I mean? Or I can point them in the right direction to, hey, you want to join the Air National Guard? All right, there's this dude on TikTok, follow him and hit him up, and then he'll probably help point you in the right direction.
Well, the cool thing about it is, man, like when we go to, because I went to two recruiting schools now. I've been to the Army Guards recruiting school, and then I went to the Air Force's version of recruiting school, and it's a total force, man. Like, it's every component. So I know about the reserve, the regular Army, regular Air Force, and also the Air National Guard. So I know a lot about a lot of the components, more details than most people that are in service.
Damn, that's crazy. You had air conditioning in the Air Force one, right? But not in the Army one? I bet you get that a lot. They're like, oh, you couldn't handle it? You had to go to the Air Force?
It's funny, man, because like the Army Guard really isn't that bad. Like, the regular Army, it's not. They're different branches. They're different branches, in my opinion. Like, different components, literally, yes. But in my opinion, different branches, brother, because like one was formed in 1636, the other was formed in 1774 or 4, right? Whatever. But either way, the late 1700s for the Army and the mid 1600s for the Army National Guard, they were the National Guard. It was a militia, so it's two separate components. You know what I mean? Totally different.
Yeah. I think for anybody listening that is maybe keened on the Army, right? Maybe their grandpa was in the Army, their dad's in the Army, their brother's in the Army, but they're just on the fence about the Army. It's not just Army, right? It's Army National Guard. Like, there's different components to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I always ask people, and people always, so maybe I'm stealing your answer right now. I have no clue. But I always ask people, like, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about joining the military? And everyone always says, and even I say, do your research before you join, right? You're not buying a car that you can just return in a week if you don't like it. Like, this is like a commitment. You know, you're going to sign your life over for at least, 3 months to go to boot camp, and then, 2 days a month, and then 2 weeks in the summer. So make sure you do your research.
Well, honestly, man, I always ask them what they want. I always ask them like, kind of like what their goals are. Like, I'm not just like, let's do this. Let's get you set up for enlistment or whatever have you. Like, for during an interview, I ask them what they want, like, or what they see themselves doing. Do you see yourselves leaving for 3 years? Do you see yourself going to college right now or later, or part-time college? Which, in my opinion, part-time college, but you're okay with leaving, would be active component. If you want to get your college right now, but you still want to serve, it's a no-brainer. This is where you want to be. I'm very forthcoming with my opinion. And it's non-biased, even though, like, I'm in the Air Guard. Like, I tell them, like, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's see where your head's at, and let's see what you're comfortable doing. If you're not comfortable leaving for years, coming home once a year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I came home once a year, just like you probably do, maybe for Christmas. Once a year for Christmas, from Colorado to New York. And when I was deployed, I didn't come home at all. 9 months straight, just insane land.
Yeah.
So like
Just
I always ask them, are you like, what do you see yourself doing? Do you want to go to college? Like me personally, I try to invest most of my time in college students because they need the benefits the most. College is
mm,
expensive, and not only that, they could go to college if say they're already going to college. Cool, keep going to college. We'll take the tab, and we'll also put money in your pocket, and you also get some skills leadership wise. You'll learn a trade or whatever, because there's so many trades in the military you can develop. You have carpentry, mechanic. You have there's a lot. Like you can get in like the medical field. You can get into JAG. You can become a, a prospect to be a lawyer. Like it's insane. Like how many
yeah.
people that are in the guard that are pretty successful. like like our commander is a lawyer, a
Really,
successful one too, and he's in command of the wing. And like you have
that's wild.
you have people that are high in the chain of command and they're teachers. Like you have people that are nurses. You know how many cops are on the guard, bro? A lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of cops.
Cops,
A lot of
sheriffs,
cops.
troopers,
Firefighters.
everybody.
Yeah.
Every job you were fed growing up, we have those people in the military. And chances are, 9 times out of 10, the military helped them pave their way to their success today. 9 out of 10
100%.
times.
100%. And they did all that. They have their degrees, and they have no college debt. That's wild.
Not even just that, man. Like they don't want for anything. Like they have a blanket of
Yep.
security when it comes to their finances, as long as they're smart. I mean, you can always fuck up a peanut butter jelly sandwich,
Yeah.
but they have real no need or wants. I mean, everyone wants and needs stuff, but like on a real level, like from like a poverty level, like you're not fearing uh, being able to pay your bills or pay your rent or pay your mortgage. Some people they probably will, they probably are, because they're not very good with their finances, but for the most part, that's a big thing for me. That's a huge seller for me, is my ability to know that I don't have to worry about these things. These life things that are a real life stressor if they're not taken care of, or you don't have those things in line.
hmm
It could be a huge stressor. You and I both know that. I don't have
Fact.
those stressors.
Yeah. Nope,
My
not at all.
stressor is, what time do I go to fucking golf?
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta make sure you get your tea time. Is
You
it
know what
gonna
I'm saying?
rain?
Like
You
that's
know what I
my
mean? Yeah.
stressor.
Yeah. You're like, if it rains tomorrow, what am I gonna do? For me, it's like, damn, I still gotta go to work. But it's just, it's
At the end of the day, man, like is what I would tell someone, if you're willing to bust your ass, on the other end of all that suffering is success. I
yeah,
guarantee it.
yeah.
Simple as that. You're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer for a little while, quote unquote suffer.
hmm
It depends on what you consider to be, hard and suffering or whatever. That's all. That's all a matter of opinion. But
hmm
at the end of all that nonsense that you consider hard and tough and um, suffering situation, whatever, at the end of all that shit is success. It is. Like
Yeah.
I started out in an apartment when I was 26. This is when I first joined. I was a personal trainer at the time, and wasn't making really much money. I did it because I loved it. I was getting paid shit, and I just thought it was a privilege that I was able to do it. So people are paying me anything to be their trainer. Awesome,
Yep.
let's do it. But long
Sure.
story
No
short, I
good.
went from a $400 rent apartment with a person I didn't like in an area that you don't want to live in. I don't want to live in. To a full $100,000 house 6 years later.
Yeah.
Now
And you weren't gonna do that
you
being a
can.
personal trainer.
What do you say?
You weren't gonna do that being a personal trainer.
No, I like doing it. I love doing it, to the point where like I was okay with mediocre. I was okay with not being successful, or what I consider to be successful. Everyone has their own opinion of success. My opinion of success is to, like I said before, have those blankets of security financially, not have to worry about the things that most people have to worry about every single fucking day. That shit will tear you the fuck apart. I don't worry about any of that shit. Went from a $400 fucking apartment for rent to a $400,000 house 6.5 years later. And people have common sense.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. It's not because I hit the fucking lottery. Oh, wait, hold on, I did. I joined the military.
I love that, dude. I love that. That's great,
It's
dude.
true, though, man. Like, I'm not going to sit here, like, a spade's a spade, brother. Like, I will not sit here and say that if, I could have done it without the military. It's not fucking true. It's not.
Nope.
And I know how shitty it gets in the military. I've been infantry 3.5 years, Bravo, in Bradley's, overseas. Shit sucked. It was worth every fucking second.
Yep. You wouldn't be who you are today if you weren't the person you were 5 to 10 years ago.
No, I'd be in a fucking $400 a month apartment.
Yeah. If you were spoon fed all your life, you wouldn't be the person you are today. So.
Oh no, I don't even think in those terms, man. Like, no.
Yeah.
The apartment was the show. My parents' house is not terrible. It's not that bad.
He said the apartment was the shithole.
Well, I don't come from much. I don't. My parents have like a not even 1,000 square foot house. I had 5 brothers and 4 sisters who didn't live with us because my father was married twice. But 5 big brothers and my mother. It was a tight squeeze for sure. Small house, but the apartment was the real low for me. Because like on the service, I looked successful because like I was in good shape and I was training all these people, but no one knew that I went home to this shithole apartment. I didn't have a 401k. I had no savings. I had nothing going for me. Nothing was like, there wasn't any of this. And ever since I joined September, 13th, 2017, I have done nothing but climb the fucking ladder of success. My version, my idea of success. People think millions of dollars is being successful. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah. Nah, that's not who we are.
No.
People who join the military don't look to be millionaires. You know what I mean? And even if like there is opportunities for you to get to be a millionaire. One, your TSP, right? You can make a lot of fucking money off your TSP if you're smart, you read, and you know what you're doing. But we all join with the same mentality. Like we want to do something with our lives, with our careers.
Which is another pension.
Yeah, exactly. Are you using your TSP?
Yeah, so I was, and then I switched to I got to set it up again. I switched to another component. I think it was somehow shut off. I don't know. I got to get back to it, but no.
Yeah,
Nick,
taught this is your wake up call. Get on that shit.
Hell yeah. No, for sure, man. Because that's like a new airman, new private, new sailors like fuck up, like thing. Not using it. As an NCO, yeah, I should be using it. Sure.
I'm one of those dudes who like beats a dead horse with it. Where I'm just like, your TSP is probably the best thing they're ever going to give you because you don't realize it now, but in 20 years, 30 years, you're like, holy shit, I got how much money saved up? You're like, okay.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays. I'm not saying everyone. I don't want to sit here and just say everyone's dumb or whatever. There are a lot of people out there that are still smart and whatnot, but people don't think ahead.
Facts.
My mind is like 5 years from now, bro, at least. I'm thinking 5 years from now. I'm not thinking tomorrow or the next day. I mean, I am because I have to plan for, my daily tasks. But I'm thinking like, fucking, what's going on 5 years from now? How am I going to get the next rank? How am I going to do this? What kind of house do I want to be in? Do I want to be in this one? People don't do that. They think, what kind of drink am I getting this weekend? Am I going to get a Long Island iced tea? Or am I going to get a Manhattan? Or am I going to get a fucking Budweiser? I'm
going to get a case of beer and Pizza Hut. That's every person in the barracks thought. I'm going to get Pizza Hut and beer. I got fucked up. Like, okay.
Yeah, I actually, before I left, like the last year, I was finally an NCO and I had to go through the barracks and, do the whole check-in and all that stuff, man. The barracks, they can be rough when they're really young. It's like going to a high school / college dorm. Like, it's just, yeah, it could be a mess, dude.
Sometimes you're like, we have laundry machines here, right? You can
Yeah,
like wash.
wash your ass too.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we can go for hours about people and situations that
Yeah.
I've been through like that, where I'm just like, oh my god, dude. But you know what? It is what it is. That's not why we're here, Nick. We're here
No.
to talk about you, your story, and
And
the
you as well. I learned a lot about you today.
facts, man. Facts. I do appreciate you coming on. This has been fucking great episode thus far. Kind of getting into getting back into like you and like your social media aspect. How do you go about making these videos? Like how do these ideas happen to you? Are they kind of things that have happened in your life and now you're gonna translate it into social media, or are these just thoughts that you have?
No, so I mean, a lot of the videos, especially the recent videos, those are like kind of inspired by something throughout my day. I'm sure. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this, or like, you know, oh that's right, I can use this with this. Like this inspired me to think of this. This inspired me to think of this. But they're all, I have perspective and I have experience with almost everything I put up. Like the whole
Mhm.
sorry sergeant thing and someone being like, how about fucking sergeant? Dude, that's happened to me before, but worse. Like
Yeah.
I've had some fucked up things said to me. And I appreciate it. Like I really do. Like it just makes you a harder person.
Yeah.
But I've had experience in almost everything that I make a dumb video about. Like in the kitchen thing, for example. It was almost like a stereotype, but it's also true. When I was overseas and I was on any Air Force installation, I'd go to their chow hall. I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
eaten like shit for months, bro. All of a sudden, going there is like going to a fucking 5-star restaurant, bro.
Yeah. You're like, you
You
guys have
guys eat like
options?
this? I'm
Yeah.
eating like fucking shit on a shingle over
Yeah.
here. You're eating fucking filet
I'm
mignon,
praying for MREs. Yeah.
bro. And people, I see some of the comments. They're just like, this is bullshit, or this is false. This is not how it is. When it comes to that trailer, the that little kitchen or whatever, maybe not. I know they at least make burgers. I think they might make steaks. Filet mignon, probably not. That was the whole. It was like it was to like increase
Yeah.
the intent of the joke, right? Because
Exactly.
when you
Yeah.
are overseas, bro, they eat like fucking kings and queens. It is what it is. That's like the one thing that really made me think about ever going to the Air Force.
Mhm.
Anyone that's in the Army and the Marines, they all think about this stuff, brother. I'm telling you right now. They might bust my balls on these videos, but guess what, motherfucker? I was you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was you at one point. I was in the field. I was overseas, and I saw how they were living, and I saw how they were eating, and I ate in their chow halls after being, let's say, over in Sandland in fucking Erbil eating shitty food, and then I go over to this place. I think it was my first real idea was Interlink in Turkey. I'm pretty sure it was. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It was an Air Force installation, and this is the whole setup, man. The whole setup. It was great food. I ate good once or twice when I was overseas. Let's
Mhm.
just put it that way. And it was at an Air Force installation.
There you go,
So the
dude.
joke is they eat better than we do,
Yeah,
especially overseas. That was the joke.
we all know it. We all know it. Even not overseas, even in America, dude. Like you go to a Navy or an Army or a Marine galley, it's just like one line and some grab bags. You
Yeah,
go to an Air Force chow hall and there's the normal line, and then there's like a burger line, and then there's like a wrap line and a sandwich. I'm like, what the fuck, you
it
guys?
sounds kind of like basic training all over again.
Nah, not at all. Base training sucked ass for us.
I'm talking
I,
about the chow line, man. That's how the chow lines kind of work for like when you're. We could only go through one line when I was at Benning. You couldn't touch a fucking thing outside of what that one lane was for sure. But
yeah.
I would see other lanes. I'd be curious what's over there.
Yeah. I'm like, where did he get that from? Yeah. Yeah.
That was the drill sergeant's lanes. They can go on there, but we couldn't. And the
But
high
that
school,
gave you a little taste of like what you will have when you do graduate boot camp.
yeah, it's the whole idea. Break it down, build you back up, and then yeah, I think it's all great, man. I mean, people think it's really terrible and it sucks. You know what? Enjoy the fucking suck.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Embrace the suck, Semper Gumby, yada yada yada. It's all the same, dude. If it wasn't for half of the shitty times that I've had in the military wouldn't have been as fun for me. It wouldn't
No.
make me want to stay even more. You know what I mean? Like, dude, they made us take a mop and a bucket and go wash rocks in the rain. You know what I mean? Like, no
Hell
one,
yeah.
no one fucking does that in like the civilian specter of your life.
Listen, brother, it
Yeah.
builds character.
Yeah. That's fucking those rocks better be clean, Harem. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And there's like me, like 4 of my other buddies, and we're just it's a tsunami, dude. We're in Japan. Like, there's a fucking typhoon, and we're washing rocks in the rain because
fucking mirrors.
yeah, because it has to get done. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
done with those things.
yeah, facts. It happened to them. It happens to us, and now it's just a tradition. It's just, no one's out to get you.
Yeah, no. The funny thing is, man, like everyone shits on the Air Force, and I did too before I joined an air component. And I think I went to an active Air Force training installation in San Antonio, Blackland Air Force Base. And I looked around. I wanted to see kind of like what it was like there. That's where they have their basic training. That's where they have their tech schools. Bro, they were marching around. They had instructors. They call them military training instructors, I believe, MTIs. Bro, they're doing the same shit that they do at Fort Jackson. Like the same. They all hate their lives. Like they go through the same stuff, and like it's good for you. But I will say the hotel room that I was in, it wasn't like a hotel room. It was like an Air Force hotel room. They literally have their own hotel services, Air Force services. It was good, man. Like I had 2 separate rooms, pretty much. I had a living room. I had 2 TVs, and the one thing I had that I couldn't believe, brother, was that there was a whole setup, right, where like your desk goes, where like you're supposed to be doing like your homework or whatever. There was like 7 shooters that were for sale, via hotel. Like and there was like 2 red wines and 2 white wines in the refrigerator with a Bud Light, a Yangling, a Corona, and one other one I can't think of. They would charge you for sure, but it's in my room, bro. I'm here for school.
Yeah.
What?
You're in the Air Force. You must have forgot.
Bro, you're talking to a fucking grunt,
Yeah.
right? Who went to Fort Benning, was in one of like the most prestigious, quote unquote, divisions in the country, 4th ID, home of Sergeant Major Daley, Sergeant Major of the Army. Not any longer, I don't think. He was the first sergeant at my unit. Like, long lineage. 2003, they were part of the Saddam Hussein assassination. Like, Royal Army shit. Infantry, right? The core of the Army. That's where I was. Now, I got fucking shooters in a Corona in my fucking refrigerator. What? When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Yeah, oh my god, what a great quote, dude. When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Man.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it,
It's wild to see, it's all like one military, right? But at the end of the day, like, just the different shit that goes on. But then again, Nick, it brings us back to the same thing, right? Is that we've been talking before. No matter what branch you're in, it's still the same opportunity. While you're in, you still have the same opportunities. You still have the same chances. And when you get out, you still have the same opportunities and the same chances, man.
Of course.
I hope everybody could take whatever we just said, whatever they gathered, whatever they listened to, whatever they heard from this episode, and at least do something productive with it, right? Either get yelled at by me and get your TSP fixed. Don't get out of the military if you really don't want to, but you don't want to stay active. There's other alternatives. If you're tired of paying $400 a month in rent, go buy a $400,000 house with your VA loan. I mean, there's just we've covered so much on this episode, and I'm kind of grateful, Nick, because like low key, this is like the biggest things that I kind of target. Like, I'm not gonna say my audience. A lot of my guests are like smarter than I am, but they all have like kind of like their one thing that they're really good at, and that's what we harp on. But me and you during this whole episode, it's been a fucking buffet of shit. But so far, I'm loving it. Man. It was really cool.
The military is a buffet, man. Like,
low key.
What do you want to eat? What pick your poison, man. Like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? You want to deal with this? You want to deal with this? Or like your jobs, like what kind of job you want? Like, do you want to work on planes? Do you want to work in the woods? Do you want to work, on a ship? Like whatever, man. Like it's all this. But at the end of the day, all these things, all these jobs, all these differences, it leads back to one thing: the benefits and what we get from the military. It's all the same stuff, man. Like we all get the same stuff at the end of the day.
Facts. Couldn't have said it better myself. Hey, Nick, before I let you go, do you have anything you want to ask me?
How long have you been growing your mustache for, sailor?
So I actually put in a chit to grow my beard, right? But that thing's been taking forever. So I've had the mustache, I don't know, maybe like every 2 months I'll shave it, because that's when my wife actually gets fucking really pissed and starts screaming at me. But I don't know, dude. I kind of like it.
Can you guys grow beards?
Nah, we can't grow beards. You could put a special request shit in. That could be medical waivers.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Wow.
Correct. Or you could have like a religious. Did I say religious exemption? Yeah. Or you can have that. Like, there's different ways to be able to grow a beard. It's just, you have to either jump through loops and hurdles, or just grow a mustache and suck it up.
I do have one actual serious question.
Go for it.
Rather, singular. What is your mission statement? Where do you see yourself going with this? And what do you want to get out of doing podcasts like this? I know what I want. I just love it. This is like church for me. I love just spreading the gospel and talking about the military.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good, man. I mean, I don't really have a mission statement per se, but I would just say, just take all the knowledge, take everything I know, and just pass it on. Just don't leave no one behind. Like, all of this information that I'm gathering from this podcast, I don't know why. I don't know if you know why I started this podcast.
Kind of what it was. The question, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Did I kind of answer it for you? My mission statement. Maybe keep the positive.
I guess I used 4 words because mission statement is used for like Army.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of like CEOs like have like mission statements. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really have one, to be honest with you. I wish I could have gave you like.
So a better question is like, what do you want to get out of doing these podcasts? What would you like to see come from these podcasts?
People hit me up and be like, "Hey man, I was scared to talk to somebody because I'm going through some fucking mental health shit, let's just say."
Okay.
And I seen this grown ass man, shout out Ranger Rick. He's a ex-Army Ranger. He's a veteran, and he's just fucking built to the brim. And he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, bro. You got some shit, get some help." And he was like, "All right, man. Like, if this guy can tell me, then it's all good, right? If someone can see Nick living in fucking bumfuck Canada, because that's not New York all the way up there, saying, 'Hey, bro, like I was in the Army, I fucking hated it. You know what? I'm in the Army, Joe Schmo. I fucking hate it, but I love the military. Hey, now I can relate. Now, there's always an alternative, and people really just don't know." Growing this veteran community too, man. I know as you get more into the social media aspect of it, you'll start to see more and more of the veteran community. But I'm kind of like wiggling my way in a sense, with a couple of like big dogs like patting me on the back, slapping me through. But definitely just make those connections and build those relationships with these people, because they're so fucking sick, dude. Like, these people, the shit they've gone through and like the things they did and things that they're doing. I think the veteran community is doing more now when they're out of the military than they did when they were in the military. I think it's wild. What I have that they don't is I'm still in the military, so I can use their message and kind of relay it to the activity side as well.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, whenever I get out though, then fuck it. Then I don't know. I won't be the middleman no more. We'll see if they still like me or not. Because after this contract, I'm done. I thought about going reserves, but me and my personal opinion is, when you're done with something, you're done. If you smoke and you want to quit smoking, don't smoke on the weekends. Don't smoke during the week. Just quit. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, man. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of my family, my mom's side, my dad's side as well, they're all military. So this is like the military, like those people in my family, compared to the rest, they just have better stories.
Yeah.
No, I mean like they just had better lives, man. Like they, like I said before, like they seemed like they had their shit together, and they didn't really want for a lot. They actually gave a lot. Like I want to be able to give and not have to take.
I hear that. I
Fair.
hear that. I love that though, Nick. Nick, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your story and everything you had to offer to me and my Freedom Empire over here, man. Any last words you want to say before I let you go?
No, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it, and we finally got it done. It's been a few months, and
Yeah, bro.
I've been following your stuff, and
I appreciate you.
I wanted to be a part of it, you know.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely drop all your socials and all your links down below. If anyone's listening right now, it's Nick Thomas on TikTok at PDM_training_systems. Give him a follow. Scroll through the videos. They're definitely funny, dude. They're not like those stupid ass ones. You'll tell by the follower and by the view and by the like count that they're actually worth watching.
Did you notice that? What's his name? Hopefully he's watching, which I doubt it. But that dude Nico.
Was that dude who took your video and kind of put it out of context and then made his own separate video?
He called me pussy and all that stuff. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
You know who that is? Like, he's a pretty famous YouTuber, right?
I know exactly who he is. Yeah, but he's the type of guy who's like, me and you are sitting here active duty, right? Well, let's just call you active duty because like you're still in the military.
Yeah.
We got American flags. The only thing we got. I don't need to do a podcast wearing a bulletproof vest with a piece of straw hanging out of my mouth. I don't know, dude. I feel like that's just like too played up. I don't know. Just
I hope he calls out another one of my videos again, because I was light the last time I made a video, and you know I was like I made fun of like his pink hair and all that stuff. I said he looks like Jay Leno and Slim Shady and pink.
Dude, I don't know if he wants to smoke after that. Maybe he thought you weren't going to rebuttal. Maybe he thought you weren't going to come back at him. But
bro, he called me a homosexual, which I have nothing against that in life. Like, I'm not against homosexuality. Like, you know, to each his own. But he used it in the context. The context he used it in was like a, you know, you get it. Like, he was using it like as an attack. Motherfucker, you don't know me.
Yeah.
What?
Facts.
I'm minding my business here.
Yeah, and point proven where he's not considered. I guess you know he is a veteran, right? But like the veteran community that I fit in or that like I hang out with, it's not that type of person. No one will ever shun you or like you know put you down or take what you're doing to help the community and be like, oh, you're a pussy, you know, you suck, you know. No one will ever fucking do that. So I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like let this guy live his life. I get it. You know. You make money off clicks and views, and you got clicks and views out of it. But
maybe he feels threatened. You know what? You fucking should.
Yeah,
I'm still in the boots.
Yeah.
I didn't get out.
Low key, you probably fucking hurt him too. So I don't know. Yeah. You can either hurt him in person, or you can hurt him on the 18. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen his build, and I'm 220 pounds. I'm pretty sure I would break him in half, but it's okay.
There you go.
I don't want to do that though.
If not in the ring, on the course. What'd you say? Yeah. If not there, you can get him on the course. Yeah, there you go. The Titleist hat says it all.
Right there.
Nick, brother, man, I do appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much, man. Freedom Empire. Until next time.
Views presented are those of the speaker, and the guest do not necessarily represent the views of the Department of Defense or its components. Neither the Department of Defense or its components bears any responsibility for the accuracy, legality, or content of the views discussed on this podcast. Now, without further ado, let's get into this.